Robert Young Pelton is used to risking his life in the crossfire, surrounded by rebels and outlaws.
Anywhere where people are willing to die for something, there's also a reason to go there to understand why it's that important. If you want to see things for yourself, you have to get into harm's way.
Pelton lives in danger, among men willing to fight and die for their beliefs.
Of the 75 countries I've been to, most of them war zones, there is one country that intrigues me the most, and it can be a lot more dangerous than you expect.
America can be one of the world's most dangerous places.
We're going to find that danger is not a place in America, it's a state of mind.
In his quest to discover America, Pelton will meet rebels and outlaws.
We had firefights down there every night.
He'll enter a culture of violence unlike any he has seen before.
Come on, CJ, tear him up.
Pelton is about to find out that when it comes to danger,
flush him out, Jim. Hack him up.
There's no place like home, on the world's most dangerous places. Robert Young Pelton returns to Los Angeles from the front lines in Chechnya, where Russian forces battle Islamic rebels. Pelton has taken many hazardous journeys to explore the world's most dangerous places. It's part of his job, compiling his authoritative guide to the world's war zones.
When I research my book, I dig into the facts. When I look at America, the statistics are frightening. The U.S. has a murder every 29 minutes, a violent crime every 17 seconds. I had to see things for myself, so I decided to hit the road. How big is the engine on a road kick?
Pelton invites Wink Dulles, a contributor to his book, to join him. Together, they will take 2 Harleys across the American West.
Hi, good afternoon, gentlemen. How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
Which one of these babies?
Motorcycles are right here, ready to rock and roll.
In 1969, Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper set out on a dangerous journey across the American West in the film Easy Rider.
30 years ago, Easy Rider revealed the dark, violent side of America. I wanted to make a trip like they did back then.
Pelton and Wink will be shadowed by 3 filmmakers to record the journey: David Hale, Paul Madalena, and producer Rasha Drachkovich.
We live in one of the freest countries in the world. But does that make it one of the most dangerous? I had to find out.
Setting out from Los Angeles, Pelton passes the site of an extraordinary incident in the annals of violence in America. When one man stole a tank, his moving violation sparked a bizarre pursuit. Finally, the chase ended in a hail of bullets. Heading south along the Pacific, Pelton witnesses an invasion in progress. These marine maneuvers offer an impressive display of American military might, and they reveal the irresistible spell that weaponry casts over us.
So now how did you learn how to use this?
Him.
Oh, he taught you? Oh, so he's already got you recruited, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
To probe our love affair with guns, Americans own over 200 million of them. Pelton decides to go to the town that helped spawn that violent mystique. After a day's ride, Pelton arrives in Tombstone, Arizona, once one of the world's most dangerous places.
And now I'd like to introduce the cast of characters who will take part in the impending drama.
Every day, locals act out the West's most notorious duel. Wyatt Earp and his deputies against the Clanton gang. Pelton is invited to join in the performance for the tourists.
I had been to plenty of dangerous places. Afghanistan, Chechnya. Places where people blew each other away for politics, religion, or revenge. They would have found it bizarre that here the violent execution of justice is strictly entertainment.
Let's give a big hand to the famous Wild Bunch and the Hell Bell.
While Wink visits a gun store, Pelton meets up with Paul Kostelik, the Marshal of Tombstone, the man with Wyatt Earp's job today.
How do you get a permit to carry a gun here?
You don't need a permit. Arizona has an open carry law, and as long as any portion of that gun is exposed, it's not considered to be concealed. And if you're not a prohibited possessor due to a past criminal record, then you qualify to openly carry a gun. The gun itself, it's been a way of life. It was then, and it still is now.
Talking with the Marshal, I learned that when it comes to guns, things have hardly changed since the good old, bad old days.
Hitting the road, Pelton hurdles from 19th century Tombstone to 21st century Las Vegas. Pelton's here to experience an event that proves the West is still as dangerous as ever. The Soldier of Fortune Convention.
That's pretty cool.
For everyone obsessed with weaponry, from mercenaries to criminals to cops, this is ground zero for the latest in firepower. Along with the weapons comes an attitude some might find as intimidating as the guns.
Ready on the firing line. We're just minutes away from Armageddon.
Finally, the climactic moment. a chance for the proud owners of weapons outlawed in other states to shoot them off in an orgy of firepower.
1, 2, 3!
In the storm of bullets, no marksmanship is required. They call this the minute of madness. It lasts over a minute, but they got the madness part right.
Look at that. Oh, you thought he was just some kid in the closet, but look at him go with that knife. He's cut some people up over there at the middle school.
That night, Pelton discovers that even without guns, the competition is just as cutthroat.
I'm really proud of you. You did a good job. Next time, my suggestion is get a pistol. Get ready. This is the big time. Flesh him out, Tim. Hack him up. Fight. Oh, whoa, whoa.
The rules are minimal. No slashing above the neck or below the belt.
Start him 3 ways, long, deep, and most repeatedly. Oh, man.
To keep score, just count the hits.
Here we go. Here we go. We're in. We're slicing. We're slicing. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Let me intimidate you. Come on,
Winner is Allen. Thanks a lot, you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate your effort.
You know, this has been just a really positive and great experience for me.
Pelton is about to find out that for some in the Southwest, self-defense means taking extreme measures. Leaving Las Vegas, Pelton heads south to another one of America's most dangerous places, the U.S. border with Mexico. Each year, hundreds of thousands attempt to cross the border illegally, risking everything for a new life.
Hey, fellas.
For many, the desperate attempt to reach the American dream turns into a nightmare. Pelton has often snuck across border frontiers in the world's war zones. Now he homes in on the focal point of illegal immigration into the United States, Douglas, Arizona. Recently, the U.S. government has erected fences along much of the border with Mexico, making attempts to enter the country even more hazardous. In the area around Douglas, Arizona, however, without walls to stop them, the illegals can walk across open country if the Border Patrol doesn't catch them first. To help them cross the border undetected, the illegals put themselves at the mercy of coyotes, unscrupulous guides who take their money and sometimes their lives.
All you got to do is click on it.
At the command center in Douglas, a Border Patrol officer shows Pelton how computers optically scan fingerprints and photos to trace the identity of those apprehended crossing the border. Most illegals are immigrants desperate for a better life. But some are drug smugglers or criminals, responsible for over 500 violent assaults against federal agents in a single year. At an armory in Douglas, agents are issued firearms. Night falls on the desert. At a mobile command base strategically positioned on a hill, Pelton visits agents using a state-of-the-art device to spot the aliens crossing an open no man's land under cover of darkness. The equipment combines night vision technology with thermographic imaging that detects the heat of the human body.
And that's a long line.
Yeah, these scopes and the choppers are the best tools we've got.
You want to come on over here, partner, between Alpha and Rose? You had a group just jump over the fence on the north side, see if we can get them deterred.
Despite their state-of-the-art equipment, I learned that sooner or later the work comes down to a skill perfected in the days of the Old West, tracking.
Yeah, this is it. You can tell it's old because, like, compared to ours, from where ours is, the dirt's real soft, the lines are real fine. And compared to the double bar we were looking at, it's been bleached, like when the sun was up, so it was actually from sometime today. Because the sun will actually bleach the dirt a little bit.
On a moonless night, the Border Patrol's job turns into a shadowy game of hide and seek.
Okay, go directly west from where everybody's at. You should surround the group.
I got him. I got him right here. 10-15. Hey, no, quédense ahí. Quédense ahí.
I got some right here.
Okay. Hey, todos párense, forma una fila, okay? Quédense juntos y pongan las manos en la cabeza. Párense. Otro más, por favor.
Those caught tonight will usually try again, some only 20 minutes after they were last apprehended. To some in the Border Patrol, it seems like a hopeless battle.
Does it get overwhelming? I mean, you just have so many groups that it's impossible to keep track of them all?
There are sometimes, yeah. Well, frequently.
4 right now, I'll go drop off. I'll be out there in about 10 mics.
When these guys come across, the coyote probably tells them this is the best place to cross and this is the best time.
Sure, they're recruiting.
Yeah.
The smugglers recruit on the south side. They have no regard for any of them, no regard for safety, they just leave them.
In my quest to understand America, I had learned that the hunger for freedom will drive people to risk any danger.
The smugglers took the group up this tunnel to come out up in town out of the sewage and drainage system. And we had some real bad rains and it flooded the area out. And 6 individuals passed away, being washed out, and, you know, smugglers have no remorse.
Along the border, both the illegal immigrants and the American ranchers feel like they're the ones in danger. Now, as in the Old West, ranchers have taken the law into their own hands.
Do you recommend that private citizens get into this business?
Oh, absolutely not. No, we discourage it by all means.
Yeah.
You know, just the danger aspects. It's not recommended for the safety of both the undocumented aliens that are crossing as well as the actual citizen.
The government's warning is ignored by ranchers who patrol their own land. Heavily armed, they say they are defending their freedom, ready if need be to turn the border into a killing field.
I met with Roger Barnett, a rancher who claims he has caught 1,000 illegals on his property. A man who believes he's fighting a war for survival.
We feel it's an invasion. More and more keep piling in, and then there's no place to go, so what they're doing, they're shooting and killing, and then they're robbing and raping, and then they're stealing. Our government and state and federal government has let us down. They haven't come in here with resources to help stem the flow of them like that. I feel you need a weapon at all times. You never can tell because there's some rough characters come across there.
Leaving the border behind, Pelton enters an isolated area in Nevada, world famous for its mysteries.
This was one of the most remote places in America in the 1940s.
When Pelton's motorcycle breaks down, he takes the wheel of the crew's RV. His destination, Area 51.
So Area 51 is just a number of the region, but it didn't really get sort of a spooky reputation until the 60s, when they needed a place to develop the U-2 spy plane. So they developed that plane out here, and then so then it became the tradition or the business of developing or testing secret aircraft out here. And just north of Area 51, a place called Tonopah, they actually developed and tested the stealth fighter. And because the base was officially not part of the American military system, the military had always denied that there was any activity out here. And all these conspiracy theories started. The stories began to grow from just like, yeah, I'm sure there's flying saucers, to, oh yeah, we see flying saucers all the time. And then other people came out that absolutely believed in aliens. So it's become sort of a mecca for people who believe in ufology or believe that there's aliens and there's spacecraft here. But the reality is that there's really nothing going on at all.
Near Area 51, Pelton arrives at a mecca for UFO buffs.
We stayed at a motel called the Little Ailey Inn. Out here, there's plenty of free parking, no matter where you're from.
This is the brand newest one. This one is a really good coffee cup. And then this is one of my favorite newest things.
For Pat Travis, the proprietor, aliens are her business.
And it comes with the little alien logo on it. We have a water bottle.
Ew, that's disgusting.
No, he's really cute. Look, he's even got a cute butt. There have been alien beings come here and visit. Whenever I talk about the beings and being brought here and how much energy and how much love they've given and that they do give to us, my arms turn with goosebumps.
That night, gazing up at the sky was enough to give me goosebumps. But we were about to come down to earth in a hurry.
Leaving the border zone, Robert Young Pelton is about to find out that in America, there can be danger in even the most unexpected places. Nebraska, the American heartland. For Robert Young Pelton, searching for America's most dangerous places, the town of Seward seems an unlikely stop. Police Chief Alan Baldwin has it pretty easy.
What would be a typical crime on a monthly basis here?
A lot of barking dog complaints, dogs running at large, picking up dead snakes, and things of that nature.
So have you had a homicide in this town?
I believe that Seward County's only had like one homicide in probably about the last 40 years.
It's the 4th of July. Everyone turns out for the parade.
Turkey shooting afterwards, I'll bet.
Oh, yeah.
The locals have a violent way to cap off the celebration. What's been called the world's most dangerous sport.
Here we are at the bull riding festival, no, bull riding competition, and this guy does not like the idea of me sitting on him. And this is just a poser shot, because I ain't going out there on this thing. So what makes a bull rider, a good bull rider?
You know, it's a combination of two things. Very simply put, it's a guy with an American spirit and a heart of gold, and a guy with no brains, so you don't have to use any aspirin because he doesn't have any headaches. It is the world's most dangerous sporting event.
I quickly learned that despite the pain, for the riders, this is an addiction.
Now, is there a little pain involved here?
A lot of pain.
It hurt?
Right there.
Behind the scenes, it looks like ER. Dr. Roker checks out the latest casualty.
Has a torn pec. Is that pretty common? Inserts right into the humerus. Tore it a little bit right there. So now what happened to this gentleman? He got kicked, didn't he? He got a shot out there.
She got something that's 2,000 pounds and wants nothing but this stomp you. It certainly gives us our work cut out for us. If we go out there, we've had other things from bones coming through the skin to noses off their face.
Now what happened to your nose?
Fell down in what's called the well, and I got hung up in there. And pretty soon what happened is this horn just came around and broadside of my nose, and I had reconstructive surgery on it. They said they threw away 4 pieces of bone. Couldn't figure out where they went.
So when your doctor sits down and tells you, son, I think you're being damaged by bull riding, what do you tell him?
Okay. And then he just turned around and go do it again.
We've got with the Pro Tour Bull Riding Association is the first half of our cowboy protection team. Please welcome from Chester, Nebraska, Corey Brooks. We got out of the emergency room yesterday. He said he was coming to Seward for Independence Day.
So now, does your job look a little weird so that the bull looks at you instead of the rider?
Yeah, pretty much. We kind of do basically distract the bull. Once the rider hits the ground, it's our job to make sure they can get to their feet and get out safely. And the crowd enjoys it too.
So you think this is a dangerous job?
It's dangerous, but it's fun. It's fun.
Despite the dangers, the next generation is already practicing for a rough ride.
Let's yell for this little cowboy right now. Yeah! Coming out. There we go!
At Litchfield, Nebraska, a town near Seward, Pelton finds another homegrown pastime that turns vehicular manslaughter into a spectator sport.
We're here for a demolition derby, and we're getting a few tips from the car owners. You see, we paid $150 for each one of ours. So we're going to sign some waivers here so that we can take a little ride in the ambulance. We don't have to sue anybody. It seems like this is the big event here. How many tuxedos or summer bonnets?
The prize money is only a few $100s. But then the locals don't do it for the money. They do it for the bragging rights.
Brad Campbell, Tom Treffer, Nick Rivleski, Bob Pelton.
After the heats are chosen, an official briefs the drivers on the rules.
They're gonna black flag you if you hit a door shot. If you're shoved in or something, that's fine. But if you hit a door, you're gonna be black flagged. They're gonna watch the aggressive hit. They'll get one warning. If you're not aggressive, then they're gonna black flag you if you don't have aggressive hit within a minute. So keep the aggressive hits going.
So you know these stickers have guided Russian helicopters through war zones and through checkpoints?
Well, we're gonna. Hey!
Signature this.
Dukes of Hazzard made it through a lot more than the Russian helicopters ever went through. You're good to go.
All right. Okay, so front end solid.
Front end's, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
The rear end, it ain't much.
Gotta be careful.
Talking to veteran drivers, Pelton discovers the strategy is more like boxing than racing.
I'd make a couple justifiable hits with your rear end. I mean, give them,
But not too much.
We'll give them some, you know. Well, you hit him, but don't go just like, don't go hog wild. Just keep an open eye, you know, be focused.
Time to knock my teeth out in the steering wheel.
The rules? Deliver at least one aggressive hit a minute or be disqualified. The goal? To somehow survive to be the last car still moving.
Well,
That was a scream.
how was it?
Awesome. I got hit so hard. But I tell you, there's nothing like a little training for car accidents. Oh, look at DP, man. He's smiling still.
I'll tell you, you take some pretty good hits. I mean, it's like having a car accident at 30 miles an hour.
This time, to everyone's surprise, nobody gets hurt. After the demolition derby, Pelton's sidekick Wing must head back home for other commitments. As Pelton hurtles down the highway, he sees motorcycles roaring in the same direction, all bound for the world's most notorious gathering of rebels and outlaws. Robert Young Pelton has experienced exotic cultures abroad, from the Philippines to Afghanistan. But he's about to discover that the American West has its own dangerous tribes, and they're converging on the Black Hills of South Dakota. The biker has always stood for the unholy trinity of freedom, violence, and rebellion, a magnet for Pelton's curiosity.
We're in Deadwood, South Dakota, to explore the myths of rebels and bikers, to see where the part of the Old West was built on the idea of being a rebel.
An astonishing 300,000 bikers from all 50 states have come here to cut loose.
With so many people rebelling, you kind of wonder, who's left to rebel against? In legend, the so-called biker chick was just another accessory to adorn the back of a Harley. The reality is that women bikers won't take a backseat to anyone.
And what got you into riding?
Always recognized passenger.
Really?
And about the time I got in the front seat.
So what was the difference?
Major difference. I can't ride behind anymore.
So what technically did you do back there?
What was it? Over acceleration of exhibition or something like that.
Well, is that the
I
top?
over exhibition. No.
Is that the top you're wearing or the way you're
I
driving?
don't have any idea.
No, nudity. How long you been riding?
23 years come January. I started riding when I was 18 years old.
Is that right?
Yep. Bought my first Harley when I was 18. Ain't been without one and since then, ever.
Ever?
I lost my house. I lost everything, but I never gave up my Harley. That's a God-given truth.
Nearby, Pelton seeks out Willy Nelson, who embodies the outlaw spirit for his biker fans.
Willie Nelson's outlaw music celebrates freedom. But in his tour bus after the concert, Willie confided his fears that this freedom is eroding.
A lot of our rights have been taken away. More laws have been passed. And that's happened because we let it happen. And when we get tired of it, we'll change it. And it's really that simple. And that's what everyone is attempting to express, I think, is that we are free, we are independent. Don't tell me what to do.
Didn't I see you in a movie somewhere? I think so. In this macho enclave, it seems like everyone has balls.
I saw it in Marseille.
Our French cameraman found it was all a matter of taste.
Okay, now you're gonna order Rocky Mountain oysters, all right? And what is the Rocky Mountain oysters? So now, he wants to try some Rocky Mountain oysters.
You know what they are?
What are they?
Bull testicles.
Usually travel hosts have to eat something disgusting, but actually I enjoy these. These are Rocky Mountain oysters. They taste like rubber bands deep fried. These are great testicles. How do they taste?
In this Easy Rider world, Pelton makes a surprising discovery. To celebrate the 30th anniversary of the movie, Peter Fonda himself is nearby. Pelton seeks out the man who symbolized freedom for a generation, for his take on how things have changed.
Oh, at the end of the film, I say we blew it. We haven't done anything better yet.
So
it's gotten quite worse, I might add.
Really?
Yeah.
So how is America different than when it was 30 years ago?
There's more racial tension than you'd imagine. There's more division between the haves and the have-nots. There's more just division. There's more people who want to be only with them and exclude others. All this stuff is not what we're supposed to be.
How do you define freedom?
It means you have the right to die when you want to. You're not somebody's slave and have to work until you die. And that's about as close to freedom as I can think of.
So if somebody wanted to find America like you did 30 years ago, how would you recommend they do it?
Read everything Thomas Jefferson wrote, and then see if any of it is reflected in what they see as they go through this country.
Peter Fonda warned me that our freedoms were shrinking. It didn't take long for me to find out for myself.
We've been pulled over for taking pictures of Mount Rushmore. And our purpose here was to take a picture of Thomas Jefferson, because we were reminded by Peter Fonda to read and pay attention to the works of Jefferson in terms of his writings about liberty and personal freedom. And it's kind of appropriate that we've been busted in a national park for taking a picture of a national monument. And it kind of says it all about government, doesn't it?
Whether riding into the wind or cruising in the comfort of the RV, one thing is clear. Each from his own perspective is struck by the beauty of this country. Taking a detour into the Badlands, Pelton finds he must yield the right-of-way to other, heavier traffic.
The early morning Buffalo traffic jam. It's 7 o'clock in the Badlands National Park. We're caught up in the Buffalo traffic jam. There's a small calf right there. And if you get in the way of a calf and its mother, the mother will charge you. Plus, a motorcycle looks suspiciously like a buffalo they don't know. You can see these two guys here watching us.
No sooner does Pelton cross their path than it triggers a stampede. Pelton races towards an extraordinary landmark, not yet complete. It's a monument honoring Chief Crazy Horse, who helped defeat Custer and fought the U.S. Army to the death. Pelton enters the last refuge of the first Americans, a home that has become a very dangerous place. The Pine Ridge Reservation has 80% unemployment and the nation's highest infant mortality rate. Average male life expectancy, 48 years.
Indian reservations are officially sovereign nations, but because of poverty and neglect, they might as well be third world countries.
Pelton gets a rare opportunity to meet a modern warrior, Russell Means.
The war is on unless the justice comes up with something concrete.
In 1973, Means helped lead a bloody battle against federal agents at Wounded Knee, the site of a U.S. government massacre of Indians in 1890. Means has been branded a militant and a radical. He sees himself as fighting for the survival of his people and prepared to die for it.
I was inside Wounded Knee, surrounded by the military might of the United States of America. It was a walk in freedom. We had firefights down there every night with the tracers and the M16 and the 50 calibers. 50 calibers are anti-tank weapons, man. I didn't think we were coming out of there alive. And that was the best feeling in the world because I was free. I was free, man. There was no white man could tell me what to do.
To initiate Pelton into the dangers of the reservation, Means takes him to White Clay, where 2 Oglala Sioux were recently murdered. The killers are still at large.
What is this?
It's where we found the bodies.
What bodies?
The body here. There's 2 bodies, dead bodies.
It is an ominous fact that in 7 out of 10 such violent crimes against Indians, the perpetrator was not an Indian. But despite such unsolved murders, Russell Means no longer sees violence as the answer.
Well, when I was young and foolish, I believed in armed struggle, and I employed it. The easiest thing to do in life is kill. Yeah. Kill a bug, kill a human. That easy. So if it's the easiest thing to do, then why not be honorable and take the difficult road and learn to live with life rather than control it and dominate it and kill it.
While Russell Means has put aside the gun, others see violence as the only solution. As Robert Young Pelton continues his journey across the West, he enters the shadowy domain of modern-day outlaws.
Very important when you're firing a weapon.
The militia movement in Montana has been accused of crimes from robbery to bank fraud. They advocate conspiracy theories marked by a hatred and mistrust of the federal government.
I managed to make contact with a member of the American militia movement, Steve McNeil. But fearful of government intrusion, McNeil insisted that we meet secretly. Out here in Bozeman, Montana, a few miles out of town, at a predetermined location. Can't help but wonder how nice it is out here. Even if you're out meeting people, I'm a little nervous about meeting.
McNeil's conspiracy theories, like those of other militia supporters, demonize a sinister force they call the New World Order. A group he says includes the IRS and the United Nations.
The UN's, I guess, motto says that they want world peace, but their definition of world peace is the end of all resistance. So I guess at that point you'll just be a slave. And so I don't into being a slave, and when you ask me, you know, how that's going to affect me, we're all going to be slaves.
McNeil and other militia supporters foresee the final decisive battle is imminent between an oppressive government and private militias defending their rights.
I can tell you this, that we've got probably less than 2 years. I'm just hoping that the people will wake up before it's too late. Because, you know, everybody's going to lose when it goes to the bullets start flying.
McNeil's doomsday warning sounds like nothing more than extreme paranoia. But Pelton is about to meet up with a man who has proved he is willing to die for his principles. On the front lines in Chechnya, Pelton had met an extraordinary individual named Akil.
So now, where did you pick up your toy?
An all-American boy raised in San Diego. Akil had converted to Islam and become a member of the Muslim Mujahideen, holy warriors fighting on the side of the Islamic rebels against the Russians.
When I left Chechnya, I was told Akil had died in combat. When I returned to America, I was surprised to learn that he was still alive and that he had drifted back into the shadows.
Hey, Akil. How you doing? Yeah, I'm on my way to Phoenix. I'll be there in a couple hours. So I'll meet you at the place we talked about, and I'll be driving a white Land Rover. All right, check you out later. Bye.
At first reluctant to appear on camera, Akil finally allows Pelton to interview him. Pelton secretly meets up with Akil at a prearranged rendezvous point.
Hey, Akil.
Ah, I haven't seen you in a while.
I've seen you. So, can I go visit a friend of yours?
Sure.
Akil had lost a leg to a Russian landmine, but it didn't slow him down. Like a modern-day gunslinger, he was still ready to fight and die for his code of honor.
Akil invites Pelton to enter his private world.
Now this, see, I like this.
He takes Pelton to a favorite gun store to inspect the lethal tools of the trade.
So now, what is this gun designed for? Is this a standard setup?
The Muslim holy warrior escorts Pelton to a makeshift shooting range on the desert. It's here that he sharpens his marksmanship with his assault weapons, preparing for an uncertain future.
When they penetrate better than bigger rounds.
That's me. So what's the difference between shooting, like now, you're shooting a static object versus shooting at people?
People move. People don't sit still.
Akil gives the first direct reports of clandestine training camps in Afghanistan, where few outsiders have ever set foot. Camps rumored to be near those run by America's most wanted terrorist, Osama bin Laden.
People always say Osama bin Laden runs camps. Is that true?
No, I never even saw him there.
But I mean, does he run camps in Afghanistan?
Yeah, he has some training camps, mostly for Arab Mujahideen.
Why did America launch cruise missiles and bomb these camps that you're in?
I've wondered that myself because half of the missiles that were launched to Afghanistan landed in the camp that I was training in. And these people previously didn't have a problem with America. But naturally, after the missiles landed and killed some of their people, they declared war against America.
So would you be an example of a terrorist, somebody who was trained in a camp in Afghanistan, somebody who fought in Bosnia, somebody who was trained basically to go against any government who threatened Islam? Would you be considered a terrorist by our government?
I would say they probably think I'm a terrorist, yeah. But I looked at terrorism, the definition in the dictionary. It's a person using violence against civilians to achieve a goal, whatever the definition is. So, by definition, people like Russia, they're terrorists. By definition, people like me are, I don't know, doing the job the FBI is supposed to be doing, defending human lives.
The West still has lone warriors like Akil, each with his own strict code of honor. And every one of them is armed.
I had met a modern-day gunfighter, a man seeking simple justice from the barrel of an AK, instead of a six-shooter, a loner on the loose in an ever more complicated and violent world. Akil is living proof that the wild spirit of the West never died, where wide open spaces are still a refuge for gunslingers and outlaws. Here, caught between our love of freedom and our passion for violence, in the land of the free, the home of the brave, is still a very dangerous place.